hope under your watch.
Hi guys, JT here, and today I'm going to be taking you through an upcoming game, Marvel's Midnight Sun. A turn-based strategy game where you raise and lead a squad of Marvel heroes in a fight against the demon Lilith and her army of infected villains. Oh, and you have cards in it too. The story. Lilith, the mother of demons, has been revived by none other than Hydra, through the combined use of magic and science. Lilith aims to fulfill the prophecy of the Midnight Sun, to bring back her master Cathal, who looks like Cthulhu. She corrupts multiple villains and heroes to do her bidding, together with her army of demons to help her fulfill her prophecy. Overwhelmed by Lilith's powers, the Avengers brought Lilith's forsaken child, the Hunter, back to life. The Hunter has been laid to rest for many centuries in an abbey, the secret headquarters of an organization only known as the Midnight Suns. The Hunter has been the only known being who has ever beaten Lilith before, and so begins to struggle to stop Lilith and her army of soldiers, villains, and corrupted heroes, which includes the likes of Venom, the Hulk, and Scarlet Witch. Presentation. You'll be fighting Lilith's army across multiple locations featured in the Marvel Universe, from the Avengers headquarters to New York City to Hydra facilities to the Underworld, all of which are presented in beautiful fashion. The Marvel superheroes themselves find a new modern iterations made for the game. In fact, there will be multiple costumes that you can select to dress your Marvel superheroes the way you like it. The cast will also be fully voice acted and can be interacted with at a central hub, the Abbey. You can customize the Hunter's look however you like, and even change up her gender, letting you create your very own Marvel superhero. Some of the infected Marvel supervillains and superheroes have unique looks to them, as Lilith's power has made them grow horns on their heads. But most of the goon enemies are very generic, like a wolf that has green smoke coming out of it, generic looking soldiers, presumably Hydra soldiers, among others.
About time.
You're a Midnight Sun now, one of us.
The gameplay. As mentioned at the beginning of the video, Marvel's Midnight Suns is a turn-based strategy game with cards involved. It may look like XCOM, but it isn't. You go on missions, some optional and others story-driven, where you command 3 heroes in a squad. These heroes are usually customizable, and the team does not necessarily always have to include the Hunter. Each hero has a deck of 8 cards that you can change out and upgrade. Each turn, you draw random cards from a combined deck of each heroes in your party. You could play attack cards to attack enemies or play skill cards to buff your team. This will build your heroism meter. The heroism meter acts like a mana pool. You can spend this heroism to use powerful heroic cards for some big attacks and bonuses. However, you can't just stuff your deck with too many expensive cards, as the mana curve will be too high and you won't be able to efficiently use your heroic cards. Each superhero that you can use in Marvel's Midnight Suns have their own specific roles and skills. These roles in combat will fluctuate their usefulness in each mission's objective. Like Doctor Strange has a lot of powerful skills that set up future turns, while Blade has a lot of lifesteal damage cards, and Spider-Man has many skills that interact with the environment but lower damage. However, this does not mean that Spider-Man will always have low damage, as he has access to damage cards which you can upgrade to give him more damaging attacks. There are plenty of superheroes in Marvel's Midnight Suns, so it'll be interesting to see how each superhero plays. Speaking of superhero powers, the power of the Hunter can be customized as well. You can build him or her towards more offensive abilities and cards or more supportive abilities and cards. Offensive abilities will allow you to specialize in all-out attacks, while supportive abilities focus more on healing and utility. So not only are you able to customize his or her look, but also what abilities the Hunter will come to have. The environments can also be used as part of the strategy. Not saying that all you have are different covers that you can hide behind, but you can literally throw them at enemies or vault over them to initiate a special attack. You can also spend heroism on environmental attacks to extend your turn or pick off problem enemies. Over time, you start collecting new cards, which you can assign to your superhero or upgrade. As you keep playing, cards will also start to obtain random effects that can turn a weak card into a very powerful card. You'll have to collect gamma coils and other materials while on mission to upgrade and unlock new cards and abilities. Outside of combat, back at the Abbey, you can interact with your favorite superheroes and build bonds with them. There will be dialogue choices for you to choose, which will either make them like you or hate you. By building bonds with them, you can gain access to additional buffs when you have them on the battlefield. The Abbey also has a Hellhound dog which you can pet. There are also puzzles and collectibles around the Abbey for you to find, but they just seem like afterthoughts at this point. It also seems that you can upgrade the Abbey to unlock more facilities to help you in your journey, much like XCOM. First impressions. If you're into some turn-based, grid-based strategy with cards, you will most likely like this game. At first glance, it may seem like another XCOM game, but with the increased focus on cards, it brings the gameplay to a whole new dynamic. I'm a big fan of the Marvel superheroes, especially Spider-Man, so I'm looking forward to playing as it. There are promises of plenty of missions to send your favorite superheroes into, which I also like, as I'm a bit of a level up and resource hoarder. Upgrading my superhero as high as I can really clicks with me. Some gripes I have with Marvel's Midnight Suns are the character resolutions. The characters look a bit muddy, and I think this may be a design choice, so they look more cartoony or more like comic book characters rather than a hyper-realistic look. I don't mind these looks as long as they are deliberate like characters from the Borderlands series. My other thought is maybe this graphical style decided so it matches the style of Marvel's What If TV show. All in all, I'm quite cautious with Marvel games these days, as a lot of them just seem quite subpar, or have microtransactions. I was originally looking forward to the Marvel's Avengers game, but upon release I totally tuned out of it when microtransactions were introduced. I hope that this game does not have that same problem. In addition, I'm not that into turn-based strategy games as I lean towards more active gameplay. However, if you like turn-based combat, you will most likely like this game, especially if you're into Marvel. This game releases on the 3rd of December 2022 for Steam, PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and Nintendo Switch. So what do you think about Marvel's Midnight Suns? Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next video.